Guys, can you all hear me?
Ma'am.
Okay. Let's continue from working methodology. Okay. So there are like 5 different steps in computing the principal components. Okay. First, you have to like arrange your data in the matrix forms or a data frame form, and you get to know the dimensions. And then that you like going to use your original variables, you can just directly compute your covariance matrix or correlation matrix. But if you have to like standardize it, you have to like get into the standardizing of it by computing its mean and standard deviation. Okay. This is a formula for like doing the standardization. That is like z minus z equal to x minus mu by sigma, where x is your variable value and mu is your mean and sigma is your standard deviation. Okay. And after like standardizing the data set, and you have to like compute your correlation matrix or covariance matrix, whichever that you'll be like using for your uh, PCA. Okay. And then you have to compute the eigenvalues and eigenvectors for the matrix that you have. Okay, so you'll be computing your eigenvalues and eigenvectors, and then what you will be doing is you will be like trying to like find out the proportion of variance as well as the cumulative proportion. Okay. And then you'll be like assigning all your arranging all your eigenvalues in a descending order, and then you will be like taking the very important principal components with the significance threshold that you have. Okay, so you can like select it based on the elbow curve in the speed plot, or you can like take it based on the eigenvalues significance level. So whatever, so you can like decide it. Okay. So first you take your data set, and then you standardize it if you want, and then compute your correlation or covariance matrix, whichever that you're going to use, and then you compute your eigenvalues and vectors, and then you arrange them in the descending order, and then choose the number of principal components you want. Okay, so that's how the PCA works, and we'll be like seeing that right now with an example here. Okay, so here I'll be like using a data set with like 6 different important variables. Then here you'll be having a as a variable, which is going to be nominal. We'll be like discarding that. We'll not be like using it. Okay, and this is your rain level, and this is your maximum temperature, minimum temperature, and the irrigation level, and this is going to be your harvest details. Okay, and in the yield details for each of the crop. Okay, this is the data set that we'll be like using, and then when you like compute the correlation matrix, this is the correlation matrix that you got for this data set with 30 different district information. So here the maximum temperature is kind of like has had slightly positive correlation with rain, but when you see here the minimum temperature and maximum temperature is kind of correlated to each other, because like they're it's relatively same, right? It will be in the range. The minimum and maximum temperature means it's always will be in the same range. Okay, but the rain and maximum temperature is kind of like correlated to each other, and when you see here the irrigation and the yield is kind of correlated to each other. So maybe you can like group these two variables together, and uh, these three variables together. Okay, so you can say you can have two components or two factors. Okay, so when you like perform PCA on this, you'll be getting output like this. Okay, so this is going to be component, eigenvalues, proportion, and your cumulative values. Okay, so you have the eigenvectors, the loadings also here. Okay, so here what happens is like number of eigenvalues that you have will be equal to the number of variables. Okay, and they're nothing, they're like calculated using the formula determinant of c minus lambda I equal to 0. I mean you're just finding out the you have this is your matrix. Okay, this is your matrix, which from that matrix you are like subtracting lambda into identity matrix. I is your identity matrix and lambda is your eigenvalues, and you multiply your lambda values with identity matrix, and then you do subtraction, and for that matrix you are finding the determinant. Okay, and that values should be always 0. Okay, and that is one of the property that it should have, and the number of eigenvalues should be equal to number of eigen variables, and the sum of all the eigenvalues should be equal to the number of variables. Okay, I mean when you're like using correlation matrix, but not this will not be applicable when you're using the covariance matrix. Always the first eigenvalues will be the largest eigenvalue, because we are like always trying to arrange in a descending order, right? Because even when your output, it will be like arranged in such a way. See here, you can see the eigenvalue is 2.44 for the first component. Okay, it always like that. And for correlation matrix, the diagonal elements will be 1, because like we are using the standardized data, right? So the diagonal elements will be 1, and the total variance of the variables will be equal to the sum of the diagonal elements that we have already discussed. Okay, okay, so here the largest eigenvalue is 2.44 that we saw, and the total variance is 5. So the proportion that you I mean you can like calculate the proportion directly also. So this is your largest eigenvalue and the variance is 5. When you like divide that, you will be getting the proportion of the variance. It's around 48 or 49%. Okay, and this can be like computed for the rest of the eigenvalues as well. See, you have 2.44 and the sum is 5, right? So 2.44 divided by 5 is 0.489, which is a 48%. So here the next one is for 33%, and third component is around 10%. Okay, and here you have the cumulative. I mean, you're just like summing up the proportions. This is a cumulative. So 48% plus 33% is 82%. 82% plus 10%, 92%. Okay, that's how it is computed. Okay. And with that, we'll be able to form this kind of equation. So principal component P1 will have all the 5 variables with this weights. We are able to form a linear equation, and as well as with the principal component 2. Okay. So earlier we have been using the correlation matrix to compute this, and now if we are going to use the covariance matrix uh, to compute the principal components. Here we got the eigenvalues is 1008. Okay, and the next eigenvalue was 3. Okay, earlier the eigenvalue for the first component using correlation matrix, it was just 2 point something, right? Here it is 1008. Okay, so that's the same way the proportion cumulative has been computed. One of the eigenvalues vary because you're using a different matrix to compute the eigenvalues. There we have been using correlation matrix, and here we are using variance covariance matrix. Okay, so this is your variance and covariance matrix. Okay, so when you see the sum of variance, I mean the diagonal elements, you know, right here the diagonal elements on for a covariance matrix always a variance matrix. That's why we call that as covariance variance matrix, right? So the sum is 1012, right? Which is equal to the sum of the eigenvalues. Okay, the sum of variance is always equal to the sum of eigenvalues, right? So when you want to like calculate the proportion, what you can do, you just have to like uh, divide the eigenvalues by your total variance, so you get 99%. Okay, you can like also like draw a screen plot and then decide how many factors that you need, and here also we get 2. Okay, hope you understand this. Let's like use R to compute the PCA right now live. So as I was saying earlier, I was just using a iris data set. Okay, so when you view iris data set, you know there are like 5 different variables for sepal length, sepal width, petal width, and species with 150 data points. Okay. So we always we know that we have to use only the continuous data for a computing factor analysis or PCA. So when we see this, we have factor for species that is not a continuous variable. So we'll be like omitting that when we compute PCA. Okay, so you have to install psych library. As always, I'm getting some error here, so I cannot able to show you how this looks like. Okay, so maybe I'll share this code, and then you can also check how you are able to like visualize your data. Okay, so now I'm applying principal component analysis here. Okay, you see here I'm not standardizing the variable because there is no, it is not much needed because it is like all the 4 different variables of sepal and sepal width and everything are like measured in the same unit, and there is no much of huge deviation, so I'm not standardizing it. Okay, I'm just calculating the principal component analysis here. I'm removing my 5th variable, which is species. Okay, so here uh, I'm just using P of com. Okay, so I'm just plotting a principal component here with variances in my x-axis and the number of components in the x-axis and variance in the y-axis. So here at the point 3, the curve like it kind of bends. So I'll be taking 2 as the component. Right value of right number of principal component. Okay, you can like see the principal component as well here. See, so it gives a standard deviation for all the 4 factors, and it was able to like compute the values for the principal component 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, Zeppel length has like the eigenvalue is kind of high for Zeppel length. Okay, for PC1. Okay, so you can also like see the summary of it. So here you can see the standard deviation for first principal component, in proportion of variance here, and the cumulative proportion for each of the principal components. See, actually I was explaining this earlier also. The proportion of variance of first component is 0.72. And for the second component it is 0.22. It is computed based on the values, right? The eigenvalue divided by the total variance. Okay, and here we are just like summing up 72% plus 22%, which comes around 95% for cumulative proportion until second component. Okay, so when we check the attributes here, so we are able to we can compute standard deviation, rotation, centers, and you can able to get the scale and x for the principal component. Okay, so I think we didn't see the x here. Okay, so when here we'll be able to get a principal component for each of the variables in your data set. Okay, I think, and we did attributes. Yeah, rotation. It gives you factor loadings for each of the variables. Okay, and centers. Center is nothing but your mean values. Okay. Okay, see, mean of sample length is like 5.8, right? So it is equal to the center value for sample length. It's nothing but your mean values. Okay, here scale is nothing but your standard deviation values. Okay. see here, if you want to check the orthogonality of your principal components, you can use this code. But I don't think this will be like running in my machine, because I got this some error in RStudio. So I'll be sharing the code. You can just check. So you can check how the graph varies when you're using the principal component EX, principal components, instead of using your iris data set. The same thing that we did here, right? Here, when you are trying to plot the graph with the original values, you'll get a different plot. Whereas when you try to plot with x values after applying dimensionality reduction, you'll be getting a different plots. So that you can able to like check when you share, when I share this code. Okay. So that's all. We have like kind of discussed what is PCA and what is the methodology, how it works. We discussed 5 different steps, and we saw an example uh, in 2 ways, by using covariance matrix and by using correlation matrix. Also, we have seen the working demo in R. Okay, so that's what I have.